Hi guys, PD here, welcome to the channel, welcome to another new video. This is a bit different from me, this is like a reaction video. I played Hogwarts with the brand new PreyDog UEVR mod. I enjoyed the game so much, I played for about 3 hours. I'm in the process of editing my video and I thought it'd be a good idea to explain what I did to get the game running, to make it look nice, problems I had, that sort of thing. So this is like my first time doing like a reaction video to me playing a game in VR with the brand new PreyDog's UEVR mod. For those of you who don't know what the UEVR mod is, it's an injector that lets you play Unreal 4 and 5 flat games in VR. So it's going to convert those games into a game that you can play in a VR headset, and 90% of those games feel like natural VR games. If you are new to this mod, hopefully this video is going to give you some helpful hints and tips along the way as well. Let's dive in. What I'm showing you now is the process I tend to go to when I'm trying a new game for the first time with the UEVR mod. The first thing I normally do, I go into my settings and I turn everything down to low just to make sure that the game's working, to see what it looks like in the headset. So turn everything off, look, motion blur, chromatic aberration, film grain. Recommended settings, I'm going to start on low. Now I'm going to create a new character. We're going to start the game from fresh. Start the game, and as soon as we get into the intro, I'm going to inject the UEVR.
It appears we are almost ready to depart. It's a pity we didn't have a bit more time to spend on spellcasting.
Select the game from the drop-down box, and then I inject. I'm using the OpenXR because I'm recording the game with Virtual Desktop. Virtual Desktop I have running on the Quest 3. It's connected to my PC with a link cable. It takes a few seconds for the mod to inject itself into the game. We are now in VR mode, and straight away I can see there's a problem with the graphics look. It looks terrible. I know how to fix this. You go into the Unreal. I make sure I set the camera by hitting these 3 buttons here. Set standing height, set standing origin.
Of course.
Now I need to go into the rendering method and I need to select synchronize sequential. That's going to correct all the issues I had with the textures. The game's looking a lot better now, but it's still not very good. You can probably see on the right hand side of the screen, lots of blurriness around my characters. So this is something I really need to look into. I need to fix it. I'm not happy playing the game this way. I do go through the initial intro sequence, that's the flying sequence, just to see what I'm in for and to see if there's anything I need to change. Yeah, you can see the shimmering here around this character look. And it's very noticeable in the headset as well.
Are you alright? You're hurt.
At this point in my playthrough, it's all about getting the game looking really nice and performing nice on my system.
That stuff will right you in a second.
And I like to play these types of games, the third-person games with a gamepad. I'm using the Xbox gamepad.
What happened?
You'll see later in the video that you can play the game with the motion controllers as well. So I'm having a good look around at the graphics, the textures.
A typical dragon would never.
Professor? Sir, where are we?
I'm also looking at my screen because I'm recording and I want to make sure I get a nice recording for you guys to watch. So you might see me do this quite a few times with a headset. This is me playing with the motion controllers.
Better, sir, if you...
I don't like to use motion controllers unless you hit a certain button in the menu that keeps your eye level with the horizon. If you do play these games with the motion controllers, the left thumbstick tends to move the camera up and down. I found with the gamepad that does not happen, but there is a fix in the UEVR menu to stop the camera moving up and down, and I do show that later on in this video. I've now gone back into my settings menu. I've turned everything to high because I'm getting a really nice frame rate. I bring up the menu. I'm trying to figure out why it's so blurry, and I'm just like randomly hitting buttons like disable blur widgets. I have no clue what it does. I also go into the advanced options and I go down to where it says console/CVARs, and I'm going to reduce my screen percentage. I'm reducing it down to 80%. This is going to give me a boost in performance. I'm also going to mess around with this section here, r.tonemapper.sharpen. That's going to sharpen the image or make it blurry. You can do this as well, do it yourself. Go in there, mess around with the slider. So this section here, the decoupled pitch enabled, that will then put your camera on level with the horizon, so it stops the camera from moving up and down. I've disabled it because I'm going to be playing the game with the gamepad anyway. Also, these games with a gamepad, there's like lots of spellcasting, and I'm having to use the D-pad quite a lot. So I find it a lot more beneficial to play these games, third-person games and platforming games, with this mod, with the gamepad.
The portkey was meant to lead us there. I do. This has.
I'm still not happy with the quality of the game. I can still see there's like a weird blur effect on the right hand side. So I decided to close the game. I decided to go to the flat screen to VR community Discord. I go down to the EU section and I go into the game section. Now in the game section there's a series of different cards. You type in the game you want to play, click on the card, you'll get this screen here, and there's people talking about the game, talking about the problems. There's some people on here saying you want to install a new version of the NVIDIA DLSS. I did that. I went to the website, got the new version, and I installed it on my PC. But having said that, I do disable the DLSS later on in the game because it gives me a clearer image. I also learned from the Discord that the anti-aliasing TAA mode causes blurriness as well, and they recommend if you can to disable it or put it onto the lowest settings. I've gone back into the game settings and I'm trying to figure out why the game is rendering at such a low resolution. So now I'm trying to figure out why the game's rendering at that 640 resolution, 34% reduction. I decided to put my global quality back down to medium, and I put the texture quality on ultra. I remember the Discord telling me about the issues with the anti-aliasing, so I decided to turn the DLSS off. That then allows me to have a 100% resolution, and I put the TAA onto low. Now the game's running at 100% again. I decide to restart the game. I bring up the UEVR, inject again. Wait a few seconds and the game is going to boot up. Straight away I can see an issue with the textures. I know what's causing that. Again, go into the Unreal and turn this down to synchronized sequential, and everything looks fine. Now I notice that the game's looking a lot sharper and a lot better. So all the tweaks I've done so far seem to be working. If you get stuck in games, I would recommend you go to the Discord, go to the game section, find those cards and see what people are putting to resolve their issues. Now the game is looking really nice. I've got a nice performance.
It's a pity we didn't have a bit more time to spend on spellcasting. I presume you've been practicing the spells we worked on.
I have, Professor.
Well, I'm quite sure I've never seen anyone take...
There's a bit of a shadow effect around the main characters, but that's because I'm playing the game in the sequential stereo mode.
Thank you, Professor Fig. I appreciate you working with me before the term begins.
Oh, Eleazar! George! Glad my rather cryptic description of our location did not...
This time I'm going to show you the whole intro for the game.
...find destinations than this. Though I confess I may have miscalculated slightly on my first try.
Again, I've gone back into the menu and I'm just changing a few settings.
It's been much too long. When I received your owl, I must say I...
Best not speak
Of
here.
course.
I'm checking on the screen percentage. That's on 80% still. And I'm going to mess around with the sharpness as well.
As long as your young charge here doesn't mind me tagging along.
Not at all, sir.
After you.
Ages since I've been to the castle. Would be good to see the old pile of rocks.
I am now quite happy with my settings, so we're going to play the intro. Now, messing around with the settings, for some reason, I must have moved my camera, because during the sequence, I noticed that the camera was not in the carriage. Normally, the first time you try the sequence, the camera is inside the carriage. I noticed when I looked back at my footage, I was either outside the carriage or I was in the seat. That's me doing my Superman, flying through this world in 3D. These sequences in 3D do look amazing.
Glad I caught you before you left for Scotland.
Just barely.
And who is your traveling companion?
A new...
So now I should be inside the carriage with the camera.
Yes, sir.
But as you can see,
I'm
look,
starting school
I'm outside the
with
carriage or I'm in the seat.
Extraordinary.
It is
So I
indeed.
can't really show you the action that I
I've
saw
never heard of anyone being
the first
admitted to
time
Hogwarts so late.
I tried the
What
game.
have I?
So what I'm going to do is I'm going
As the
to
other
move the
fifth
camera. I
years
do
we've been
try
honing their
to
magical
recenter
skills for 4
myself.
years now,
I hit
I'd
the
not
set
asked if I
standing
could get our
height
new student
and
up
set
to speed
standing
a bit
origin
before the
button.
term begins.
Normally in games that will
Well,
rectify
you couldn't
the
have asked
camera,
for better mentor.
but it was not working
Professor
for me
Fig
when
is
I
not
tried it.
only an exceptional
So I
teacher,
decided I
he's
need
also
to move the camera.
remarkably
If you hold down the
ingenuous,
right
gifted
trigger
wizard.
and the grip
Mr.
button on the
Osric
right
is prone to
controller,
flattery.
you can then use the
It's one of the
thumbsticks on
reasons
both
he's risen so far
motion
in the
controllers
industry.
to physically move the camera. And as you just saw in the video, I moved the camera inside the carriage. It's not perfect, but I'm actually inside the carriage now and I can see the action
Differ as to
again.
how great a
And you'll
threat
see
my
the
uncle
6
really
stuff
is.
working the room scale work, and you'll see me move in and out of the camera to have a better look at the characters.
Significant threat. And it was your wife, Eleazar, who alerted me to his activities months ago.
Miriam?
Also, one of the highlights for me playing these games in VR is you get to see elements of the game that you're not supposed to see. So there are sections in the game where you'll see the carriage in the sky, but you won't see the weird flying creatures that are pulling the carriage in the sky.
It was the last thing she sent me, Eleazar. It came to me via her owl, but with no correspondence. I can only assume...
But she had to get rid of it quickly to keep it safe.
Presumably from Ranrock. I cannot open it. Whatever magic protects this...
I know the first time I tried this sequence, my camera was further back in the carriage. I seem to have put the camera in the middle of the carriage this time.
Nor do I.
But as you saw in the video, it's really easy to move the camera. These effects look so amazing in VR.
Wait.
Seeing that dragon in 3D, you get a really nice sense of scope and scale. It's a massive dragon, and you can feel its weight and its form. That's something you can't do, or you don't get, playing these games on a flat screen. There, look, you saw like all the flying creatures just appeared, and there's something floating there. I don't know what that is, but it's quite comical when you look around these worlds in VR and you see things you're not supposed to see. I remember playing Jedi Fallen Order, and there's a certain sequence where you look around and there's a lightsaber just floating in midair because you're not supposed to see it. But at some stage in the game, that lightsaber is in one of the main character's hands. So this is the start of the main game. I'm looking around. I'm really happy with the performance. The graphics look really nice now in the headset. All the blur has gone. I seem to have got rid of all the blur.
It's Wiggenweld potion. That stuff will right you in a second.
There are still a few issues with like a double image around the characters, but I only noticed it at the start of this sequence. Once I actually play the game with the gamepad, that all goes away. And again, this is something to do with the stereo rendering. Ideally, you want to play these games in native stereo. Native stereo is going to give you the best performance, and it's going to make the textures look the best as well. But some games you get like a flickering in one eye, or some of the textures don't look right, you get a fog effect. In those circumstances, then you need to go into the rendering method and you need to select that sequential drop down box. I'm having a good look around, look, but I can actually see the rain dropping now. So I'll put my hand out to give the impression that I can feel the rain. I feel like I'm there for real.
I've no idea who created this portkey, or why.
Again, I'm using the Xbox gamepad to play the game. Now, if there are any performance issues in the video, you have to remember, not only am I running this game twice because of the UEVR mod, I'm also recording the gameplay on the screen, and I'm using software to record my gameplay. So my GPU, I've got a 3080 Ti card, is having to work 3 times as much just for me to play the game, record the gameplay, that sort of thing. One of the main reasons why I tend to have everything running on the low settings is so that I can give you guys a nice smooth video to watch. And I'm quite happy with the footage that I'm seeing right now. I featured worse frame rates in gameplay in the past.
Let's see if we can find a path, however faded it may be.
These worlds in 3D, in VR, look stunning. These rocks on my right look like real rocks. You know, if you ever go somewhere on a day trip and there's rocks around you and you look up, that's how I felt walking along this path. And I just want to take it all in. Look, I'm watching the pots fall over the ledge, drop to their doom. playing these games in VR with this mod is nothing short of magical. And although it's not a first person shooter, I know there's a lot of elitists out there and they say that these games aren't very good, you need full hand tracking motion controls, then those people are missing out. This is like playing games like Moss, Lucky's Tale in a VR headset. This feels just like playing those games. I would rather play this game in VR than on a flat screen. In fact, I got so engrossed in this game, I played it for 3 hours straight, and that's what I recorded right now. This is what you can see. This is me playing the game for 3 hours. There's also some weird effects happening with his cape. His coat, for some reason, they flap around a lot. I don't know what's causing that. I think you're not supposed to see the bottom half of his cape in the normal game. So when you see it in VR, it's just wafting about. It looks really weird and funny.
Into possession of the port key, but I am certain it was to do with that search. Ah, there's the path down below. This way.
I think also in my headset I've got a bit more view above me, so for some reason my recording, it seems to have cut off just a little bit of the top of the gameplay.
But sir, why was your wife searching for evidence of lost magic?
Miriam wanted to understand why such powerful magic disappeared from the wizarding world.
Although my video might not be the smoothest to look at, in the headset, the game is running really smooth.
What really matters is the one who wields.
I would never play these games if I had any performance issues in the headset. I do notice if I get like frame drops in games.
It appears to be a sort of enchantment. Someone wanted to block this path. Let's see some of that one work you were practicing. Focus on the center.
And a lot of these prompts, as you can see, are telling me to use the D-pad on the gamepad.
Excellent!
If you want to use the D-pad on the motion controllers, there are no D-pads, but there are sensors on these controllers. One of these sensors, I'm not sure if it's the left side or the right side, it's where you rest your thumb normally. You rest your thumb on one of the sensors, and then the thumbsticks act like a D-pad. So you hold down the sensor and then you move the thumbstick up on the D-pad or down. Like I said, I tend to use the gamepad, so if there's any games like this where I need to use the D-pad on the controllers, I just tend to use the Xbox gamepad instead. These can be a bit fiddly. I tend to use these mostly for first-person shooters. And if you watch my UEVR for Dummies video, I showcase me using the motion controllers, and I configure the game to work in 6 DoF, room scale, first person mode, and the controllers just worked. I could grab the weapons, I could aim and shoot. Perfect. That was my first attempt at making a first person game work with the motion controllers. It worked perfectly. The only problem I really had was that when I was trying to save my configuration, every time I died or got a new weapon, for some reason it would not save my configuration. So I'm seeking help on the Discord to find out why my configuration was not being saved. Now I do know that some games that does happen. Some games, even though you configure the weapons, it does not save your state. But there are plenty of games out there, plenty of profiles that just work. Games like Trepang 2, they work perfectly with their motion controllers and other people's profiles. These animation sections look stunning in the headset, they really do. And that's something you don't get playing this game on a flat screen. If you've never played a VR game before, it's really hard to explain the sensations and the feelings you get when you are in VR. For me, this feels like a real VR game. Everything's in 3D, so it's like real life. The best way to explain it is, imagine in front of you, you've got your coffee cup. You know how you can see the 3D of your coffee cup. Imagine that sensation in the game itself. So all the game world looks real. It's got depth, like those rocks in the distance look like they're in the distance. Everything just feels so real. So this mod and VR puts you inside the actual game. You can look around you, you're still inside the game.
Why would someone...
Now you have to remember, a lot of these games have been designed in a 3D engine. I always imagine that the developers who have developed these games imagine themselves to be in the games, and that's how they design their world. So they design the world in 3D. So in their minds, in their mindset, they design these games by being inside the games. And as a VR user, we get to experience these games as the developers imagine them to be played.
It's a mural.
These developers are thinking many years into the future, but that future is here now. In VR and with this mod, you get to see features that normally you don't get to see. Things stand out. So like a mural on the wall, it's all in 3D, it will stand out from the wall itself. Again, I can't stress the sensation, the feelings you get being inside these games, being inside the world for real. It never gets old. I'm not going to sit through 3 hours of me playing the game and explaining what I do. So I'll get to a certain part of the game and then I'll just disappear. And I'll leave you with some gameplay highlights. These sections here, look, with the mirror, they look incredible in VR.
How odd. Why would someone have conjured that enchanted stone here?
I'll probably get into the main castle, into Hogwarts, and then I'll disappear.
I don't see anything.
There's that glow again, like the glow on the port.
But you'll still see me playing the game. And don't forget, this is late at night. This is me having a chill out session, just enjoying myself, trying out different games with the UEVR mod. I think I've tried about 14 games so far, and I'm having a blast. I'm really enjoying myself. Now you have to remember, I come from the background. I used to play games in 3D with the Elsa 3D glasses. So these are glasses that I used to wear back in the day that allowed me to play games on my monitor in 3D. For those of you who have been following my channel for many years, you know that I use mods like Vorpex, Reshade, SuperDepth 3D. I've always liked to tinker with these games and see if they work in 3D in a VR headset. So this mod for me is a no-brainer.
It can't be.
There you saw me, room scale, looking into the world, looking at the characters.
Ooh. Where do we begin?
A lot of these games that you try are going to give you some wow moments. Even if you've played the games before, flat screen in the past, I can guarantee you you're going to have some wow moments, and with this new mod.
Precisely.
The key?
Hmm?
Your wife's port key.
Oh, yes, of course.
This way, then.
Watching this back, I am noticing some frame rate issues with the video itself, but I do remember in the headset, really smooth. I do remember there were a few frame rate issues as well.
After you.
But this cable car ride was amazing. It was like being on a 3D roller coaster.
Keep your hands inside the cart if you don't wish to lose them.
How many vaults are there in Gringotts?
Hundreds. In fact, you'll see quite a few on our way.
Yeah, this was a lot smoother for me in the headset
Just beneath the
than my recording.
The vaults you see now are the newest.
Are private entrances to the bank common at Gringotts?
They are most uncommon.
Ideally for this recording I should have dropped the graphics even more, but for me it was playing fine and I wasn't expecting to do this voiceover and tell you about my experience playing the game. Like I said, I was just recording for fun. I thought about if the footage looked nice and I was going to release it as like a gameplay video.
Have you heard of it?
Here I am reacting to my own video for your viewing pleasure.
Vault number
Enjoy.
12 was commissioned shortly after Gringotts was founded over 4 centuries ago. It resides in the deepest part of the bank. Settle in. We've quite a distance to go.
People struggle with this game on a 4090, so I'm quite surprised I got it to work at all.
Vault number.
Vault 12. Momentous day.
On your way.
This guy is really, really small. I do believe after this sequence the game becomes a lot smoother once I'm actually back in the game again.
Like the glow you saw on the...
So these cutscenes are all using the actual game engine,
Glow on the dragon's collar.
Yeah, what was that?
We were just wondering about...
so they can be quite demanding.
He watches over the oldest section of the bank. Rare anyone goes there anymore. Here we are.
Okay, hopefully the frame rate is going to improve a lot now.
A goblin has been stationed at my desk for hundreds of years.
There was actually a hole in the roof above me. If I look too far up,
Vault 12.
there's like space.
Until today.
And you have to remember these games have been designed not to work in VR, so you're not supposed to be able to look up. And you can see where the developers have cut corners. It's quite interesting actually. I think if you're like an up and coming game developer, playing these games in VR is going to give you a good idea of how these games are put together.
Vault 12.
And I do believe it could be like a good learning process.
What do you suppose we should be looking for?
I'm not sure. Sir, I wonder if you
The
might...
instructions for Vault 12 indicate that I am to grant access to the holder of the key and then close the door.
Wait.
Professor?
That was certainly unexpected. Let me think. There must be something here. Revelio, perhaps.
Revelio?
Yes, a revealing charm. No time like
I am sharing this because I've had lots of requests from people wanting to see this game play in UEVR. So this is me learning my first spell. Revelio! Sorry. Revelio! And again, it was a lot easier for me to use the gamepad because the spells, you have to hold down the right trigger and then the D-pad to select different spells. And this game has got a ton of spells. I'm probably going to beat that bit out. I really need a new PC.
Well, that's a start. There's that symbol again. I don't suppose you see a way to...
I do, Professor. That symbol has the same glow as the one I saw.
A new PC would allow me to make better content for you guys, smoother footage, playing games on the higher
To
settings.
discover the secret of this vault. Lead the way.
Lumos.
This sequence looked amazing in VR. The sense of foreboding.
What do you mean earn our way out? Do you think this is some sort of
I can't
test?
tell from my editor
I do.
if the gameplay is smooth for you guys or not. Because sometimes when I'm editing my videos, my video becomes a bit choppy, but then the final rendition looks fine. So this might even be smooth for you guys, but for me, on my editor, it looks a bit choppy. There you can see his coat flapping around, look at the bottom. It's quite funny
What is
really.
it?
That glow again, but on the floor.
Revelio!
Lumos.
What happened?
Normally when my recording becomes choppy, I'll stop my editor, reboot my PC, and then go back into the editing
Yes,
process.
sir, I'm fine.
But because I'm doing this reaction video, I don't want
You
to
seem
stop
to have
the
caused the floor to
process at the
change.
moment.
That statue.
What statue?
I see some sort of statue, but only as a reflection in the floor.
I played quite a few games yesterday as well, and I'm not rebooting my PC, so some of my memory might be messing up the recording process,
It is.
or the editing
Reflection's
process,
still
should I
there,
say.
But the statue's positions don't match. Wait, when you moved, the reflection turned in the direction of the light.
Perhaps you should cast Lumos.
Lumos. Let there be light. And there was light, and it was good. So there you go, look, I'm having to hold down buttons to use all the buttons on the gamepad.
Lumos.
Well done.
Now the reflection is turning towards me. It does follow the light.
Instead of me moaning and complaining about the frame rate, I'm going to stop my editing process. I'm going to reboot my PC, and I'm going to see if my footage is smoother than what I think it is. So, okay, I'm back, and my recording seems a lot better than what I thought it was. I did have lots of things running in the background. It's looking really smooth now, so it was a memory issue for me.
Accio. Defendo. Levioso. Deposo.
Now, I'm at a bit of a loss because I don't know if I should be doing VR games. I'm having so much fun with this mod. I just want to play more games. I know a lot of you guys want to see normal VR games, so I should really start to do normal VR games. I might have to break up my content from normal VR and UEVR as well. If you want to let me know what you prefer, then by all means let me know in the comments below.
Lumos. Professor! Professor Fig! Professor, where are you? This isn't good.
This section here with all the wisps going over my shoulder looked amazing.
What's happening?
You can't see it on the screen, but
Wisps of magic
they were going over my shoulder.
somewhere. Ah, that's where they're leading me. That glow.
This footage looks a lot smoother now than when I was recording earlier, before I reset my PC.
Lumos. Revelio. I suppose I'm on my own this time. Lumos.
Trying to solve the puzzle.
I need to align these statues with their reflections.
You might see a bit of jittering That's the when I move the headset. So if I'm just sat still playing, the gameplay is smooth on the video. I notice like it judders a little bit. That's only when I'm moving the headset itself. And it's really hard to keep your head still though when you're playing these games. So now we're learning how to block. In this session I do play up till I get to the first town and I go to buy a wand, which is one of my quests. Sadly my footage got a bit corrupted when I left Hogwarts and I started the section where you walk into the first town for the first time to start your quest. So this video is going to end before I actually leave Hogwarts. I'm already at the 40-minute mark. PD, put your light on. Luminous. There you go. I could not figure out why it was so dark. Again, I love these wisps. They really come over your shoulder in 3D.
Lumos.
I just wanted to check the back to see if there's like a reflection as well in the back of the portal. I can only imagine playing these games in like 5 years time when we've got like the 50, 60 cards. You're going to be able to max this out. 4K resolution, maybe even 8K resolution, maximum graphics. They are going to look stunning. Also by then we might have the Quest 6, which is going to be high resolution. These games are going to look amazing.
What is this place?
And his cape's flapping again.
But I found this.
The cape flapping is really apparent as well in 3D.
That is no mere basin. That is a pensive for viewing memories. I wonder. Follow my lead.
Those shots looking down as well, you get a really nice sense of height. That's right, mate, stick your head in it. So none of the cutscenes in this game are in 2D. All the cutscenes are in-game engine. So everything's in 3D.
All is in place.
The portkey is well hidden.
Perhaps too well. I wonder if the path we've created...
May be impossible to follow. It will only be impossible for one who cannot see traces of ancient magic as I can.
Your ability to see what others cannot will not be enough, Percival. We are entrusting the one who embarks on this path with powerful secrets, with knowledge others will do anything to obtain.
Yes, and if we are correct, Charles, the witch or wizard who...
This does seem to be like a static cutscene though. You can't see me looking around the world.
and the responsibility that accompanies it.
We've done all that we can.
In fact, I remember now, this is actually a 2D screen, and it was like in the world. It was weird. So I could see the world around me in 3D, but that cutscene, it was like somebody put a cinema screen in the game itself.
Yes, sir.
So that was just a flat
Astonishing.
2D screen
I see.
in a 3D world. So I was actually inside the Harry Potter world. I could see everything around me like this place here, look.
Always believed it
But that scene felt like somebody just put a cinema screen there, and I was watching that cutscene on a cinema screen in the world.
And perhaps George died in pursuit of knowledge that has been dormant for centuries.
I need a flapping coat.
And you, it seems, are the key to understanding why. We were...
It all looks rather different than it did a moment ago.
Someone's coming.
Who were they?
I don't know. But, sir, you should...
This guy on a flat screen looks really, really menacing. But in VR, it's about this big.
Ranrock.
It's so cute.
My reputation precedes me. I was beginning to think no one was ever going to visit Rackham's vault.
And why are you here?
I need a spell to stop the flappy coats.
Just give me whatever it is you found here and we can let bygones be bygones.
Let bygones be bygones.
They had the key to the vault.
Choose your next words wisely.
I only...
He was actually stuck in the floor.
Instructions to Vault 12 were
So that
quite
camera
clear.
angle was to make him look the same size as the little guy.
I was to
with his
grant
feet.
access only to one with the key, and you...
3/4 of his legs were through the floor.
I have no patience for traitors. Now, where were we?
I'm not giving you anything.
Well, perhaps your young friend.
I wonder if flappy coat is a syndrome. These effects are amazing. Now, during my session playing the game, walking around Hogwarts, pictures were moving, statues were moving. I could not help myself looking around the world. It looked amazing in 3D. Now this guy looks really, really big. And again, you can't get a sense of scale playing this game on a flat screen. Again, these woods look amazing.
Are you all right?
I felt like I was in a real wood.
I've never seen so powerful a goblin. He seemed wholly unaffected by my magic.
Where are we?
It can't be. It seems those who set up the pensive, the locket, and the path to both wanted someone with your ability to end up here. Come. We have a sorting ceremony to get to.
Here comes the copyright strike with the music. Again, I do believe this cutscene was in 2D and a bit choppy. Yeah, this is a 2D screen. Again, this was like a cinema screen in the woods. So if I looked around me, I was in a real wood. But this screen, this intro was on like a little screen in the woods. Hogwarts Legacy. We've reached Hogwarts, so I'm probably
good.
not going to stick
We
around
haven't
too
missed
much
the sorting
longer.
ceremony.
I'm going to leave you with some gameplay though.
I'm no expert.
It's quite funny as well in this mode because when you look
seems
around, a
more
lot of the characters
appropriate.
are in the T-pose.
Now, I need to study this
You know those
market as soon as
videos
I
where you
can,
see
but
the
first I must
characters not
contact the
moving in the
Ministry.
T-pose.
They need to know what happened to
Lots of
George
these
over the
characters
wand of Ranrock.
were just stood like that,
For the moment, I ask that you keep
waiting
all
for the
that's happened
camera
this
to give
evening
them their screen
between
time.
you and me.
I'm
Of
going to
course.
leave you now, but notice me in the video, looking around
Ready
the
for the sorting
castle,
ceremony?
looking at objects, looking at paintings, looking at statues. This game, for me, was full of wonder, and there's lots of distractions for me to take me off my main quests. I just wanted to explore the castle. This felt like Hogwarts for real. Myself felt like a character in the game,
Phineas,
just playing this game
Nigellus,
with this mod
Black.
and being in VR. So thank you for
Prepare yourself to
watching.
meet
Hope you enjoyed the video.
Headmaster.
Please leave a like and subscribe. Be sure to hit my little bell. I'll see
nice
you
of you to
guys in
join
the
us.
next one. Enjoy the rest of the
sorting
gameplay.
ceremony's over.
Bye.
Complications.
Complications?
It seems the goblin problem has...
Enough. Goblins. I've no time for rumors, Fig, and I'm rapidly losing whatever patience I had left. If you're lucky, we might still be able to get you sorted this evening.
I'll be in touch.
Professor Weasley, we've one more to be sorted.
Welcome. You're just in time. Have a seat.
Ah, yes. A bit older than the others, aren't you? You come here with preferences and preconceptions. Certain expectations.
I'm looking forward to meeting my professors and learning all I can at Hogwarts.
Indeed. Hogwarts has much to offer a dedicated student. And what you learn in class will prepare you for challenges outside the classroom as well. I wonder... I detect something in you. A certain sense of... what is it?
A desire to learn? I do enjoy a good puzzle, and I believe I have a ready mind.
You're clever indeed. You have the ability to reflect clearly on that which puzzles others. And you've a ready mind, quick to learn. Perhaps you belong in Ravenclaw. You belong in Ravenclaw!
Oh, and one more thing. Due to the unfortunate injury on the pitch in last spring's final, this year's Quidditch season has been cancelled. Enough! It's not as though I've banned flying altogether, but don't tempt me. You are here to focus on your academic futures. I'm sure you will have plenty to do before classes begin tomorrow. I said, I'm sure you all have plenty to do before classes begin tomorrow.
Quite an entrance. It's lovely to meet you.
Professor Weasley, would you be so kind as to show our new student to their common room?
I shall see to it, sir. As I was saying, I'm Professor Weasley. Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, Professor.
As Deputy Headmistress, it is my distinct honor to show you to your common room. Right this way. It's quite uncommon for a student to begin as a 5th year. Might be a bit of a challenge, but one I'm sure you're up for.
I am, Professor.
This is the entrance to the Ravenclaw common room. You must solve a riddle to enter. I won't be of much help, I'm afraid. This sort of thing has always confounded me.
Who lived longer? The ghost or the poltergeist?
A ghost or a poltergeist? A non-being can never have been.
Well done. Now, go on in and get some sleep. You have a big day ahead of you tomorrow. I shall be back in the morning to collect you for your first class.
Thank you, Professor Weasley.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoy your first night at Hogwarts. Sleep well.
Looks like everyone's gone. Better head to the common room.
This should be interesting. One moment. Watch this.
Ugh! What is this? Someone threw a dung bomb. Let's get out of here.
That wasn't quite the reaction I wanted. Oh well.
Right. What did you hope would happen?
I suppose I hoped it would lighten the mood. Ravenclaws can be a bit on edge the first day of class. I'm Everett, by the way. You seem downright calm next to some of these characters, and you survived a rather harrowing trip here.
I'm glad to be here. Ready for classes to start.
Good. Glad to hear it. Truly, there's no reason to be nervous. Most professors are firm but fair. I mean, not all of the tricks I play are as simple as a tossed dung bomb, and I'm still here.
Wait, did you say most professors are firm but fair?
Ha! I did. But probably best I let you judge for yourself. I do tend to push their limits. I should wander off before someone traces that dung bomb back to me. Nice meeting you.
You too, Everett.
Must be different. Starting Hogwarts.
Not right either.
She talks in her sleep.
I want him to be in the perfect place. A place he'll be happy with. But I can't seem to find it. Great golden gobstones! I want him to thrive here.
Golden gobstones?
My own little expression. I bought this Dittany seedling from home and I so want him to feel cozy. Dittany is amazing, isn't it? So much healing power in such a little plant. I've a bit of a thing for plants, as you can see. Pleased to meet you. I'm Samantha.
Nice to meet you, Samantha. Is Dittany used in Wiggenweld potion?
It is. Looks like someone's been studying up on their potion making.
Actually, Professor Fig told me about the Wiggenweld potion.
Of course. I heard you were studying with him before term. He's an enigma, Fig. Teaches about theory, yet seems to know a lot about practical magic.
Professor Fig does know a great deal about, different forms of magic.
Well, I hope he told you about more than Wiggenweld. You've lots to catch up on, I'm sure.
It was nice to meet you, Samantha. Good luck with your dittany.
Thank you. And good luck to you too on your first day.
All right. Deep breath. Why, hello. Would you like to take a look? Can't see too much in the day. Well, except for stars like Sirius, Canopus, Vega, and Arcturus. I'm Amit. Pleasure to have you in Ravenclaw. Never met someone who's been so close to a dragon before.
Can't say I'd recommend it, frankly. It's nice to meet you, Amit. I take it you like astronomy?
Oh, yes. So much to be learned from the stars. Also, there's something about the open air and night sky above the tower. It's invigorating. You will adore astronomy. Professor Shaw is incredibly knowledgeable.
I hope astronomy's on my schedule. Sounds interesting.
I have good news for you. You are most definitely taking astronomy. It is required for all 5th years. You will be enthralled with the tower. Plus, a quality telescope can show you things you never dreamed of.
I suppose I'll see you in class then.
Yes. Oh, and speaking of class, better get to my first one of the year. Nothing like the smell of fresh parchment, is there? Be seeing you!
Hey there, new Ravenclaw. Professor Weasley is looking for you just outside. You'd best not keep her waiting.
Emily promised.
It's that new 5th year. Are you sure it's my parents every Now I can't remember the last time it went out. Wonder if they know. Everyone seems to fear Professor Sharp. Not really. They sounds brilliant. Only got
Good morning. I trust you're ready for your first day at Hogwarts?
I've been dreaming of this day for a long time. Can't believe I'm here.
Well, you are here. Make the most of it. You only have one first day at Hogwarts. Now, in light of your unique situation, joining us as a 5th year, you'll need to catch up with your classmates and not fall behind. Especially as you'll be expected to complete your OWLs at the end of the year.
OWLs? Owls?
Yes, your ordinary wizarding level exams. They will determine what type of career you can have when you leave here. After much discussion with the headmaster and the Department of Magical Education at the Ministry, we've devised something extraordinary to ensure your success. Here you are.
What is it?
It is a wizard's field guide. It will help you to keep track of what you are learning so that you master all that's expected of a 5th year. You would be wise to take full advantage of this exceptionally valuable resource.
Thank you, Professor, but what do you mean it will keep track of what I'm learning?
Perhaps seeing it in action will answer any questions you may have. Walk with me and we shall put it to the test. This way. The guide will give you opportunities to practice your magic and educate yourself about wizarding lore. I certainly would have appreciated something like the field guide when I was a student. Why don't you cast Revelio on this bust and see what details the field guide can provide?
Revelio.
Clever, isn't it? Keep your eyes open for more opportunities like that, inside and outside of the castle. No time to waste. You've classes to attend.